So, the last episode ended with us arriving in Ortona with a faulty engine. The dude in the pink t-shirt here is Stefano. He's an Ortona native who invited us to enjoy his town as a first stop on our long journey across the Mediterranean. He had organized the marina and had already gotten us a mechanic to take a look at the engine. The mechanic, Tommaso, figured that the problem was indeed the heat exchanger and said that he would get to work the very next day. Then Stefano told us to get ready, because he had a whole evening planned for us. First stop is an amazing place called Zoo Art Ortona. We'll bring you along, so stay tuned. Last time on She Rules the Waves, we finally dropped the lines, got into instant engine trouble, but decided to start sailing south anyway. And a beautiful sail it was. This time, we arrive in Ortona and are welcomed like kings and queens, enjoying this beautiful town while getting our engine sorted. To stay updated, you should check out our social media or maybe consider becoming a patron. Feel free to click like, leave us a comment, and of course, to subscribe. So, Zoo Art Ortona is accessed from this modest stairway along the scenic promenade. It's located on kind of a ledge between the town and the sea. From 1891 to 1943, it housed a funicular railway to connect the two. After World War II, it was abandoned and then briefly turned into a zoo that housed tropical animals in the cages. Thankfully not for long. Thanks to a lot of volunteers and enthusiasts, the place is now turned into an art gallery and bar. This evening, Stefano was organizing a lecture with traveler, adventurer and author Raffaele Giordano, who was going to talk about his new book, Venire al Mondo.
Venire al Mondo, Raffaele Giordano.
Cheers. Hello. Behind the presenters here, you can see where the funicular used to end. I guess that was the mountain end station.
While he was in India, he had an amazing idea. You know, Italians, we are very creative people. We always find a way how to fix a problem. No?
Yes.
Raffaele,
Yes, you do. Yes.
Raffaele, he found out a way to get money while he was in India, one of the poorest countries in the world.
Yes.
But now, Raffaele, now you have to explain how you got this idea to get paid to take a photo with your t-shirt.
Okay, I put a t-shirt with 10 rupee, one selfie. And I stay outside church, kind of church, temple. And wait. Just scream. It's more easy for us Italians, scream. It's normally, we scream just for say hello. How are you? And yeah, it was the festival color for the Krishna god. Yeah, I was like orange, yellow, violet, full of color, full of color. Also in the eyes, full of color. With this t-shirt, and I make money for 1 week. That's it. I don't know why.
In India.
I don't know why for him it's special. But
yeah, that's cool. I was also invited on stage to talk briefly about our travels, but unfortunately my camera had died at that moment. After the visit to Zoo Art Ortona, we took a stroll through town. By now, we were already dubbed the Swedish Pirates by the locals. Before heading up into the mountains for a classic Abruzzo-style barbecue at Stefano's family's place, we walked by this lovely little restaurant. They treated us to both solid and liquid regional delicacies.
The three typical wines from Abruzzo. Red one, it's called Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Rosé, it's called Cerasuolo. White, it's called Pecorino. Mezzo e mezzo means half wine and half like 7-up. In Italian it's called gazzosas. And it's typical only in Abruzzo. It's called o mezzo e mezzo, half and half, or bicycle, bicicletta. Yeah. You won't find in another region, only here. In the summer it's perfect because it's not very alcoholic. And it's fresh. Yeah.
Awesome.
Enjoy.
Hey, thanks.
The mezzo mezzo was really refreshing and the burrata was divine. And I can't stress enough how incredibly welcoming and hospitable everyone was. But now it was time to get back to the car and head up into the hills for some late night barbecuing.
This is an awesome place.
Yeah, it really is an awesome place. We had traditional arrosticini, which is sheep meat on skewers, barbecued in a traditional metal trough.
And usually the guy who cooks is... This will finish in the YouTube video.
Yeah. And to that we enjoyed the family's homemade Montepulciano d'Abruzzo wine. We had an extremely lovely time, and since we were pretty hungry at this point, I won't exaggerate if I claim that we devoured quite a few arrosticini. And as it was recently Stefano's 30th birthday, we celebrated that too with champagne and cake. Before heading back to their Airbnb for some well-deserved Z's. Tomorrow I do have work to do. The next morning we woke up pretty early at Stefano's family's Airbnb in the mountains, and we hurried back to the boat to meet up with Tommaso the mechanic. And while he started the tedious task of cleaning out the heat exchanger, I had a couple of Zoom meetings and some work to get done. The crew split up at this point and went by foot to try to get some provisions and other errands done. But after a while, Stefano showed up again and collected us all to go and get some lunch. As you might have figured out by now, Stefano knows his town like the back of his hand, and pretty much everyone in it. This time he took us to this beautifully located fish restaurant for a lunch of epic proportions.
You never lose the control of your boat.
Right, can I see it from here?
Always an open eye on your boat.
Right. The boat is there, the mast, and the lunch place is here.
Vecchio Teatro, the best fish restaurant in Ortona.
After lunch we took a stroll in town, visiting the fort that we saw the night before. Aragon Castle was built in the 1400s and rebuilt as a private palace in the 17th century. The fort was bombed in the Battle of Ortona in 1943, and the gunpowder stored inside made the structure explode and the noble palace skyrocketed.
Tutti gli amari locali dell'Abruzzo. Dove? Ortona.
See my boat from here.
I can see my boat from here! Nice. After the fort we walked around in the very pretty streets and alleys of Ortona, and the plan was to check out the Basilica of San Tommaso. Unfortunately it was closed when we got there, but as you'll see next time we actually got a visit at the boat by the priest of the church. Being quite busy with all the sightseeing, office work and boat work, this evening was my first chance of the trip to go to the beach. And I could not miss that. And after that wonderful warm dip in the Adriatic Sea, it was time to enjoy a calm-ish evening in the boat. Okay, so after that amazing dinner last night and that amazing lunch today, we didn't really feel like having dinner one more time, so... But this is kind of a dinner, too. Life is extremely hard. A little later, Stefano came down to visit and we cracked open a bottle of wine we found in the bilge. It wasn't really drinkable, but it was worth a try. I can't tell from your face if that was good or bad, Smith.
We have no idea.
That's what we thought.
Yes. We are gentil. We leave you here for now, so please give this video a thumbs up, send us a comment, and check out our social media and Patreon page to keep up to date. And until next time, take care.